At lunch, another day, Jindo and Seiwa were accompanied by Gabrielle, contemplating the director's vision for the upcoming collection. By this point, Jindo had crafted numerous preliminary constructions for the new pieces, but he was growing anxious about the arrival of fabric and supplies yet.
Gabrielle, have you received any updates regarding fabrics and supplies?
I don't know. They are not replying. They are usually busy at this time of the season, so don't worry. You just focus on the construction now.
Okay, no problem. I just asked because for some details of the new models, I think the construction can be more precisely made if I do some fabric tests beforehand.
Don't worry, I will help you when the time comes.
Okay, thank you.
Despite Gabrielle's reassurances, Jindo remained dubious. At that moment, he was curious about the impending runway show.
By the way, Gabrielle, you mentioned we might do a runway show for this collection.
Yes, we might, but why do you ask?
I just wonder about the schedule. Because you told me we need to make it ready by mid-January for Paris Fashion Week, and it is October now. I wonder if we just make the collection ready by January then. Everything will be fine for the runway. How about the fitting with the models, for example?
If the collection is good, I have many contacts to call, and they will organize the event for me.
Is that how runway shows typically operate in Paris?
What do you mean, Paris?
Isn't the show in Paris?
Oh no, I cannot do it in Paris. It is expensive, and it is normally organized with invitations, made a long time in advance. Of course, in my case, I can ask them if I want, but I don't like to do it in Paris.
Gabrielle's arrogance, though a common occurrence by now, still managed to irritate Jindo. Nevertheless, he continued to probe for information.
So, where is it going to be?
These days, I have many invitations from China.
In China?
At that moment, Jindo found himself in a whirl of confusion. Gabrielle had initially mentioned the collection should be ready for Paris Fashion Week, but now she was saying the runway would take place in China. She carried on, oblivious to Jindo's bewilderment.
Yes, even last year, I did my runway in Chongqing.
Okay.
Jindo was grappling with this sudden shift in plans.
But, as I said, the collection needs to be good first.
So you mean, if the collection is good, you can contact your Chinese network, then they will organize a showcase for you?
Yes.
Okay then. How do we know if the collection is good?
I decide, of course. The Chinese are just event organizers. They know nothing about fashion. They just want to invite European designers to make their show look international.
Jindo nodded, partly understanding the Asian cultural tendency of endorsing Western references to enhance their event quality.
Okay, I get it now. By the way, does this mean if you decide the collection is not good, we don't do runway?
Of course we don't. I am the director.
Gabrielle retorted, as though it were the most self-evident fact in the world. She continued,
You think all collections do runway? A lot of collections are dropped if they are not good. Even Coco Chanel canceled a lot of her shows just before the event. You didn't know.
Caught off guard by her reference to the legendary fashion house, Jindo held his tongue. The ex-Chanel designer continued,
Well, for example, when I was at Chanel, I made an accessory collection, and it was supposed to be presented at one big hotel event in Paris. But it was canceled a day before because the collection was not good.
Ah, who cancelled it, by the way?
My boss!
Your boss? You mean Karl Lagerfeld?
No, he is just the icon of the brand. There was a woman, and she was officially the second after Karl, but she was the actual leader of the team.
The ex-Chanel designer's tone was grating and condescending, but her story was indeed fascinating to Jindo.
Ah, so she was your boss.
Yes, but she did nothing, actually. I think she just went to her position not because of her talent, but because she knew how to manipulate people. She may be talented, but I think, once she hired me, she knew I could do what she could do. So she basically made me do everything.
Once again, Gabrielle's arrogance rankled Jindo, but his curiosity kept him engaged in her tales. Jindo ventured, somehow as to hear more of the story.
It sounds like you did a lot of things at Chanel.
Yes.
Gabrielle replied, her tone curt and her expression haughty. Sensing an opportunity, Jindo prodded her further.
So, you were practically leading the team?
Yes. I was managing a team of 60 people.
Wow.
Basically, I was the first assistant to Olivia, but I practically managed the whole team. Everybody knew.
Ah, the second boss's name was Olivia?
Yes, you didn't know?
Jindo held his silence, a bit miffed by her expectation that someone unfamiliar with the inner workings of luxury fashion houses would know her former boss's name. Yet the brand's renown made him feel somewhat contrite. Unfazed, Gabrielle carried on.
Anyway, one of the collections we made, like Days and Nights for Months, was cancelled because Olivia did not like it.
What didn't she like about it?
Jindo asked, his curiosity piqued.
She said the rat looked so sad.
Rabbit?
Jindo was hooked, keen to hear more about these captivating Chanel anecdotes. Gabrielle, always one to favour the sound of her own voice, was equally eager to share.
Yes, the collection was about a mysterious rabbit, and we placed different jewels to make up the face. It took us 2 weeks just to place the little articles to make up one eye only, but in the end, Olivia said she didn't like it because the rabbit looked so depressed.
Because she said so. The collection was cancelled the day before.
Yes, the collection was great actually, but I think she just hated me because I was so talented.
Jindo refrained from commenting, allowing her to continue.
Every time I visited her in the sauna.
Sauna?
Yes, she was always in a sauna of an expensive hotel.
Ah, I see.
She always did not listen to me, being just hungover every day, telling me to do a lot of her personal favors. Then in the end, she never thanked me or approved the work that my whole team made for weeks and months.
I see.
It appeared that Gabrielle had weathered challenging times at Chanel. She continued.
She actually did nothing. She was always drinking at night when I visited her house to report, and she was a mother of 2 kids, but always depressed, and never took care of them. I even looked after the kids sometimes. I helped with their homework in the evening.
The story had been interesting, but somehow Jindo felt the former Chanel employee was now trying to dramatize herself in it. He also knew from his experience of Gabrielle by then that she would not be such a nice type of warm human nature.
Anyway, I don't want to remember all that experience now. It is quite a bad memory to me.
Okay. Sorry that I have asked.
It's okay. Anyway, I want you to just focus on the new construction now, and when the time comes, I will help you, and we finish the collection. Then I will decide if we do the runway or not, okay?
Yep, well understood. Everything is more than clear.
Jindo responded succinctly, realizing he should follow the ex-Chanel designer's lead as she might develop and adapt the plan on the fly based on her experiences. Although her narratives occasionally appeared to have certain gaps, Jindo acknowledged that the talented young artistic director might not be the most articulate. Regardless of her shortcomings in certain areas, it was indisputable that she had a wealth of experience in the luxury French fashion sector that Jindo lacked.